Thank you for clicking this video and taking the time to watch it. My name is Luke Curtis and this channel is designed to help photographers, videographers and marketeers deal with the issues that we all come across on a day-to-day basis and hopefully make us better equipped to progress within those fields. Today I'm going to be talking about this exciting project. This is the PJ-FZ60 and this is the 19 version. There's a 36 version as well, and that's just a difference in terms of the focal length or the zoom in length, the 19 being slightly more powerful than the 36. But what this is designed to do is this is what we would call a gobo, or a go-between optic, and what it allows us to do is create random shapes, or shapes that are very recognizable. So we can do random, of course, for excitement, but we can also create recognizable shapes to trick people with lighting. So for instance, there's that very famous quite noir film look where you have Venetian blinds and light shining through. What you can effectively do with this is recreate that without having to have a window and Venetian blinds. And what that allows you to do is to come up with some more complex, convincing scenes without having to have a set or all those other resources to be able to achieve that. What I wanted to do today is just open this up, go through the process of unboxing it. I am fully aware of what this product is. I am the marketing manager for NANLITE UK and Europe, so I'm very familiar with this product. This is my first sample, so it's the first time I've physically laid my hands on it to be able to play with it and talk you through the process. I know exactly what it does, I know exactly what comes in the box, but this is the first time hands-on. And the reason being, obviously, with the whole situation with COVID, I'm based in UK, our office is over in China and our manufacturing plants are in China, so it's difficult to sort of travel across the earth to be able to get hands-on with these products as they're being developed. So 9 times out of 10 I tend to get them later on down the line. So as I said, this is the PJ-FZ60 and it's the 19 version as opposed to the 36. This is compatible with the Forza 60 and the Forza 60B from Nanlite. And the reason being is because of the mounting system doesn't allow you to step up to the traditional Bowens mount, which is available on the Forza 300, the Forza 500 and also all the FS line. So this is just for the Forza 60 at the minute. So if you were to have, say for instance, the Forza 60B, you can now create the effect of sunlight beaming through a window regardless of what time of day it is, whether it's golden hour and it's a more tungsten warmer light, or it's coming sort of into the evening and it's a little bit cooler and you can cool it down. So you can now mimic those effects without having to have that resource, which is pretty exciting. And I think as a sort of creative, having the ability to be more creative is also, it's a very exciting process. Extremely well packaged. You can see here in the front, you've got a little name tag there. Say for instance you're on set and you've got this guy here, you've got another couple of bags down, maybe the Forza 60. By looking at the top, you know exactly what piece of kit it is, as opposed to having to open up bags and rustle through them. So it's just one of those attention to detail things that we add on most of our products now. At the top, we also have these straps for stands. And what they will allow us to do, obviously, is to put stands at the top, and it just means they're normally quite difficult to carry around. So by placing them on the top, it's one less thing to carry. You can carry 2 items for the price of one. So this and open up. What we will have in here is a shoulder harness that clips onto the side part of this bag here, which means you can holster it over your shoulder. Great way to travel around with it, makes it a little bit lighter and more convenient to move. Bag of bits in here, and then the actual unit itself. What I'm going to do is just rest that there. Cool, so this is the system we have. So this is the body. Now it's made out of a plastic resin. The idea of this is traditionally some of the original Gobo systems were designed for flash heads and they were made out of a metal body. Now with flash, it's over in an instant. It's just one single burst of light and it disappears. If you do it continuously, you may create some heat over a period of time. Or if you had the modeling lamp on, you will create heat in it. Because we are sort of not working with that type of light, this is a continuous light, which means the byproduct of this light, aka heat, is always going to be there. So we have to find a way to disperse it to make it so this is usable whilst it's been used, and also you can take it off and move it around. Of course, it will probably soak up some heat and is designed to do that, but not unlike a metal where if it soaks up heat, it would expand and you have to wait for it to cool. This is a better design for the intention that we have with continuous lights. So we have our bracket here, which will allow us to mount it on a stand, obviously. Pop that on there. You can see the fixture here. This is the mini Bowens mount adapter, which is just for the Forza 60. Then we have these 3 devices here, so these will be our cutters. And what these are allowing us to do is we're allowing how much light comes into the system. So we can cut it in, cut it out, and that just gives us some control over the hard edges over the light that we're trying to project. And I'll give you a demonstration of this in a moment. Now we have here, this is a metal holder, and the idea of this is you can pop inlays in here. So you can put gels in here, and they sit right at the front of the optic. And the reason for that is they are as far away from the heat or the business end of it as possible. So whatever gels you put in, they will not get burnt or damaged. So that just slides in there like so, clips over the top, and then this just screws in to lock it into place to make sure it's nice and secure. So that's nice and secure, that's going to stay in there and not move, and away you go. Then beyond that, obviously you will then have your Gobo inserts, or your go-between inserts. So if I just throw that up now, open them up, and you'll get an idea of what we have. So we've got this one here, which is the traditional kind of Venetian blinds. We've got the effects of a woodland or a forest. This cool shape here, which is nice. And then we've got kind of this ghosty, camouflagey sort of effect here. What they would do is they would go into this system here, and then that system just slides into the top like so, and away you go. And then you would take it out as and when you want to change it. Obviously explaining it as it is doesn't do it justice. So what I'm going to do now is attach it to a Forza 60B, and I'm going to use these patterns to throw some shapes on the wall behind me. This will give you an idea of what this does and how it goes about doing it. So this is the projector working without any of the gobos in it or any of the optics in it, and this just is creating this circular shape behind me. And the great thing is, as long as I don't cut the beam, it will always stay there. So in terms of position, if I position it there and then I position myself here, I can have this cool effect stood behind me. And what also it does as well is creates this reflection along the table, and it just adds like another layer of depth to your production. And I've always said this, and I will continue to say it, whenever you're taking photos or you're producing video or you're making a film or whatever you're doing in terms of producing content that humans are going to look at, the biggest trick and the biggest battle is you're trying to convince them it's 3D, because inevitably they're going to be watching it on a 2D surface that has no depth. And the only way you can create 2D is, you know, in this world of 4K and 8K resolution, of course it has like this texture to it, and it feels, because it's so detailed, but that doesn't really show depth to its full ability. Light does that. So if you can create shadow and you can create all that sort of stuff, that's where the depth comes from, and it tricks the mind in believing it's 3D and makes people sort of more immersed in that experience. And this is what this product will do. This, I would imagine, has given me the look of sort of window, like light coming through a window. And the great thing is, with our new remote control, it will allow me to adjust the color temperature. So we can effectively change the color of day. So this may be early in the morning, a little bit of light breaking through, and this will be what we call the golden hour. And we can create those effects just by having a bi-color light source and these go-between optics. Here is another one of the optics, and again, if we go through changing the color, so this is very tungsten, we can also change the pattern of it as well. If we wanted to, we can add a gel to that front layer, and we can throw this look over the top of it. So if we put a green over that, for instance, it will start to make it feel sort of a bit of a camouflage, jungly kind of look.